having a sexual intimacy with teenage young girls gave them immortality. Kim Jong-il used this pleasure squad.
While the world fears North Korea's nuclear weapons, Kim Jong-un's biggest secret is the young women forced to serve him personally. Called the Pleasure Squad, this hidden group has existed for decades. According to multiple defector accounts, this is not a single group, but rather a vast network of women, with estimates ranging from hundreds to over 2,000 at any given time, organized into specialized divisions, each serving specific functions in what amounts to a systematized program of exploitation. Former intelligence officials who have studied North Korea for decades describe the Kippumjo as the regime's most closely guarded secret, more classified than nuclear weapons programs, more protected than military installations. Why? Because, unlike missiles or bombs, the Pleasure Squad exposes something far more damaging to the regime's carefully constructed mythology: the crude, base reality of absolute power. The roots of this alleged system stretch back to the very founding of North Korea. Kim Il-sung, the great leader, the man whose image adorns every public space and whose teachings guide every aspect of North Korean life, is described by defectors as the architect of institutionalized sexual exploitation. This belief allegedly drove the formalization of the Pleasure Squad system. The Wangjae-san Light Music Band, another ostensibly cultural organization, became the template for what defectors describe as a highly organized operation. The system that emerged was both elaborate and efficient. Young women were sorted into categories based on their roles, some trained as masseurs, each specializing in specific body parts, others as singers and dancers for public performances, and a select few for the most intimate services reserved for the leadership itself. When Kim Jong-il died in 2011, the Pleasure Squad was temporarily disbanded as the nation entered official mourning. According to former members who later defected, they were each given substantial compensation, by North Korean standards, and forced to sign detailed secrecy agreements before being released back into society. But the pause was temporary. As Kim Jong-un consolidated power, the system reportedly reformed with modifications, reflecting the young leader's personal preferences and the dynasty's evolution into its third generation. Perhaps no aspect of the alleged Pleasure Squad system is more disturbing than how young women are selected for participation.
Ensure that his succession. So they take these young girls and go for medical exam. Then they verify if they are virgin or not.
The selection process begins with scouts fanning out across North Korea with specific instructions. They visit schools, factories, collective farms, and public gatherings, their trained eyes scanning for girls who meet exacting physical criteria. The initial screening is purely visual. Scouts look for girls between 13 and 15 years old who possess specific physical attributes. Height is crucial. Candidates must be tall by North Korean standards, generally over 155 centimeters. Skin must be unblemished, features symmetrical, and bearing a graceful. Most importantly, the girls must project an aura of innocence and purity. But physical appearance is only the first filter. What follows is a background investigation that reaches back generations. This is where North Korea's infamous Songbun system, the rigid caste structure that divides citizens into loyal, wavering, and hostile classes based on their family's political history, becomes crucial.
Body types are a bit different. So for Kim Jong-il, he preferred women above 160 centimeters. Not that tall because Kim Jong-il himself.
Officials examine not just the girl's immediate family but distant relatives, looking for any trace of political disloyalty, foreign connections, or activities that could be construed as subversive. A grandfather who fled south during the Korean War, an uncle who expressed doubt about party policy, even a cousin who was caught listening to foreign radio broadcasts. Any of these could result in immediate disqualification. For those who pass these initial screenings, the process becomes even more invasive. Selected girls are taken to medical facilities for comprehensive physical examinations. These exams serve multiple purposes: verifying overall health, confirming physical development, and most significantly, conducting gynecological examinations to verify virginity. The virginity verification process, in particular, represents a profound violation of these young women's dignity and autonomy. In a culture where sexual education is virtually non-existent and discussions of sexuality are taboo, many of the girls don't understand what is happening to them. The selection process under Kim Jong-un has reportedly evolved to reflect his personal preferences. Where his father favored women with rounder facial features and more petite builds, the current leader allegedly prefers taller, more statuesque women with features he considers more international or Western. This shift is attributed to Kim Jong-un's exposure to foreign cultures during his education in Switzerland and his reported admiration for Russian women following diplomatic visits to Moscow.
They pick really this handful women. I would say it's like girls, really, they are teenager girls from all around North Korea and pick them to go to Pyongyang. When you go to Pyongyang, they have this very intense course of propaganda.
The annual quota for new selections is reportedly around 25 women, though this number can fluctuate based on various factors, including the leader's personal requests, international travel schedules, and the need to replace aging members who have reached retirement age. Once selected, the young women are transported to Pyongyang, often under the guise of special educational opportunities or cultural training programs. They are housed in facilities that defectors describe as luxurious by North Korean standards, but oppressive in their isolation and control. The primary training facility is reportedly located in the Ryongsong residence complex, Kim Jong-un's main compound, though additional facilities are said to exist throughout the capital. These buildings resemble high-end dormitories, with individual rooms, modern amenities, and furnishings that would be considered extravagant anywhere in North Korea. But this luxury comes with absolute isolation. The women are cut off from all contact with their families and the outside world. No letters, no phone calls, no visits. Their old lives effectively cease to exist. They are given new names, new identities, and new purposes. The daily routine is rigorous and comprehensive. Mornings begin with physical conditioning and personal grooming. The women are taught proper posture, graceful movement, and refined mannerisms. They learn to speak in the soft, cultured tones considered appropriate for interaction with the leadership. Afternoons are devoted to specialized training based on their assigned roles. Those designated for the massage division undergo intensive instruction in various techniques, with each woman specializing in specific body parts: hands, feet, shoulders, or back. The training is detailed and professional, utilizing techniques derived from traditional Korean medicine, as well as methods reportedly learned from Chinese and Russian experts. Women assigned to the entertainment division focus on singing, dancing, and musical instruments. They learn both traditional Korean pieces and contemporary songs that reflect the leadership's preferences. Under Kim Jong-un, this has reportedly included learning to perform Western popular music and even K-pop songs, reflecting his more international tastes compared to his predecessors.
Actually, sexual activity division, you have to, be intimate sexually with dictator and other men, and they really have to learn how to please this man. That's like their goal. That's only their goal.
The most sensitive training occurs within what defectors call the Intimate Services Division. Information about this aspect is understandably limited and comes primarily from women who were trained but never ultimately assigned to these roles. The system's secrecy and the women's compliance. The psychological manipulation is sophisticated and systematic. The women are isolated, not just physically but emotionally. Their old identities gradually erased and replaced with new ones, centered entirely on service to the regime. They are taught that their family's welfare depends on their successful performance, that any failure or breach of secrecy could result in severe consequences for their loved ones. The Pleasure Squad, according to defector testimonies and intelligence reports, operates as a highly organized institution with clear hierarchies, specialized roles, and systematic procedures that govern every aspect of its function. The organization is reportedly divided into 3 primary divisions, each serving distinct purposes within the broader system. This structure ensures both efficiency and discretion, with most members having limited knowledge of operations outside their specific area of responsibility. The massage division represents the largest and most visible component of the system. Women in this division are trained as highly skilled massage therapists, but their expertise goes far beyond simple relaxation techniques. Each member specializes in specific body parts and therapeutic methods, creating a team that can provide comprehensive physical care. The specialization within the division is remarkably detailed. Some women focus exclusively on hand and arm massage, others on feet and lower legs, while others specialize in back and shoulder work. This level of specialization serves multiple purposes. It ensures the highest quality of service, prevents any single individual from becoming too familiar or intimate with the leadership, and maintains an element of rotation that prevents emotional attachments from forming.
Intimacy with teenage young girls gave them immortality. They thought they were going to stay alive forever by having sex with these teenage young girls. And so they were pedophiles.
The entertainment division serves a dual purpose, providing both private entertainment for the leadership and public performances that maintain the regime's cultural facade. Women in this division are accomplished singers, dancers, and musicians who perform at state functions and private gatherings. Members of this division occasionally appear in public as part of groups like the Moranbong Band or other state-approved musical ensembles. These public appearances serve important propaganda purposes, showcasing the regime's supposed cultural sophistication, while allowing the leadership to display their cultural treasures without revealing the full nature of the system. The training for entertainment division members is comprehensive and professional. They learn traditional Korean music and dance, contemporary pieces that reflect the leadership's tastes, and even international songs that might appeal to foreign guests. The third division, referred to euphemistically as the companionship division, handles the most sensitive and secretive aspects of the pleasure squad's operations. Information about this division is extremely limited, coming primarily from intelligence sources and the testimonies of women who were trained for these roles, but ultimately assigned elsewhere. Women in this division are reportedly selected based on exceptional beauty and are trained in intimate services designed to meet the personal needs of the leadership. The training covers not just physical techniques, but emotional intelligence, conversation skills, and the ability to provide companionship that goes beyond mere physical gratification. The hierarchy within the pleasure squad reflects both the women's roles and their perceived value to the leadership. At the top are those who serve Kim Jong-un directly, a small, elite group that enjoys the highest privileges and bears the greatest responsibilities. Below them are those who serve other members of the leadership circle, including high-ranking military officers, government officials, and visiting dignitaries. The system also includes a support structure of older women who have graduated from active service, but remain within the system to train new recruits and manage day-to-day operations. These women, typically in their 30s or 40s, serve as mentors and disciplinarians, ensuring that younger members understand their roles and maintain appropriate behavior.
The officer who scouted me looked as though he had achieved some monumental feat and didn't know what to do with himself out of excitement. I believe he will get promoted because of this. After that, we're taken to a secret location.
Rotation and scheduling within the system are reportedly managed with military precision. The leadership's preferences, schedules, and mood are all factors in determining which women are assigned to specific duties on any given day. This rotation serves multiple purposes. It prevents the formation of personal relationships, ensures variety for the leadership, and maintains security by limiting any individual's knowledge of the leadership's habits and preferences. Behind the luxury accommodations and systematic organization lies a profound human tragedy that defector testimonies reveal in heartbreaking detail. The women who serve in the pleasure squad pay a psychological and emotional cost that extends far beyond their years of service. The isolation begins immediately upon selection and never truly ends. The women exist in a carefully controlled bubble that becomes their entire world. This isolation is not accidental, but deliberately designed to ensure loyalty and prevent information leaks.
atmosphere was overwhelming, and we stood in a corner, frozen with the tension, not daring to make a sound. I became so anxious that I needed to use the bathroom and asked where you.
The psychological conditioning is comprehensive and sophisticated. The women are taught that they live in fear of making mistakes, of failing to please, of somehow falling short of the impossibly high standards demanded of them. The impact on their understanding of relationships and sexuality is particularly devastating. Many women enter the system with little or no sexual education, having grown up in a culture where such topics are taboo. Their introduction to sexuality comes through the lens of service and obligation, rather than personal choice and emotional connection. The system also creates what psychologists would recognize as trauma bonding. The women form intense relationships with each other that become their primary source of emotional support. These bonds often become the most meaningful relationships in their lives, but they too are threatened by the constant possibility of separation and reassignment. When women are retired from the system, typically in their mid-20s, they face the challenge of reintegrating into a society they barely remember. Many are arranged into marriages with security personnel or other regime loyalists, men who are chosen for their discretion and political reliability, rather than compatibility or affection. These arranged marriages serve multiple purposes for the regime. They provide a form of reward for the women's service, ensure their continued silence through social integration, and create family structures that bind them more closely to the system. The husbands, often bodyguards or security officers, are themselves part of the broader apparatus of control. The secrecy oaths these women are forced to sign upon retirement are comprehensive and terrifying in their scope. They cover not just specific details about the leadership's personal lives, but any information that could reveal the existence or operation of the system itself. The consequences for violating these oaths are severe, potentially extending to family members and loved ones. The system also reportedly serves diplomatic functions, with entertainment division members occasionally performing for visiting foreign dignitaries. These performances serve multiple purposes. They demonstrate the regime's cultural sophistication, provide opportunities for intelligence gathering, and allow the leadership to display their cultural treasures to important guests. Intelligence reports suggest that information gathered during these interactions has sometimes been used for intelligence purposes. The women are reportedly trained to observe and report on visitors' reactions, preferences, and casual comments that might provide insights into international attitudes toward North Korea. The economic implications of maintaining such a system are also significant. The regime reportedly spends millions of dollars annually on luxury. Import records analyzed by intelligence agencies show purchases that align with the alleged needs of the pleasure squad system. Expensive lingerie, premium alcohols, luxury skincare products, and other items that seem inexplicable given North Korea's isolation and poverty. In 2022 alone, the regime reportedly spent over £2.7 million on fine spirits and £12.6 million on tobacco, luxury items that far exceed what would be needed for official state functions. The allegations surrounding North Korea's pleasure squad present one of the most challenging verification problems in modern intelligence analysis. The hermetic nature of the North Korean regime, combined with the sensitivity of the subject matter, makes independent confirmation virtually impossible. The primary sources for information about the Kippumjo are North Korean defectors, whose testimonies form the foundation of most international understanding about the system. These accounts are remarkably consistent across different defectors, time periods, and circumstances, suggesting either systematic truth-telling or systematic coordination of false narratives. The case of Yeon-mi Park, one of the most prominent defector voices on the pleasure squad issue, exemplifies these concerns. Park's accounts of the system have evolved significantly over time, with new and increasingly dramatic details appearing in successive interviews and publications. Critics argue that these changes reflect not recovered memories or new information, but rather adaptation to media expectations and financial incentives. The North Korean government, for its part, categorically denies all allegations about the pleasure squad, dismissing them as malicious propaganda, designed to damage the regime's reputation. Official statements describe the entertainment groups as legitimate cultural organizations that showcase North Korean artistic achievements. Intelligence agencies have attempted to verify defector claims through various means, including satellite imagery, communications intercepts, and corroborating sources. Some elements of the alleged system, such as the existence of elaborate entertainment facilities and the regime's massive spending on luxury goods, can be confirmed through these methods. However, the specific details about sexual exploitation and the system's organization remain largely unverifiable. The challenge is compounded by the cultural and political context in which these stories emerge. Western audiences have a demonstrated appetite for stories that confirm their preconceptions about authoritarian. Institutionalized sexual exploitation may indeed exist. The question becomes not whether such a system exists at all, but rather the extent and nature of that system.